Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, good day, whenever you are. Thank you for joining us again. One more session of Your Voice with the Voces en Acción and a Lone Star as a partnership, together working with the community and trying to bring in everywhere in the world. Because at this point, the other day, a lady, I was telling our producer that I got a lady from Japan is listening to us, and she's from Nicaragua. So hi, wherever you are, thank you so much for listening to us. I am so honored to have you listening to the show. Today we have I'm honored, like usual, having my guest, but this is an extra special guest that he has taken his time, his busy schedule to come and talk to us. But before that, I would like to thank our producer, Lone Star Community Radio, and at the same time thank our sponsor. Our sponsor is First Financial Bank. They have been with us since the 1900s, and they're here to stay. They're not going to go anywhere. They're usually in the area of Montgomery County, and they've been serving the community for many years in all your banking needs, financially, and if you want to purchase a house or whatever it is that you are looking for, your goals within the next 5 years, financially, they will be able to help you. Their phone number is 936-439-1800, 936-439-1800. First Financial Bank is here for you guys to assist you, whether you don't have a green card and you're trying to, you're in the process of getting your green card. They can help you as well with loans for your mortgage or a house. Contact them again, 936-439-1800. They are at the best for you. They're working for you. And you can talk to Miss Susie Woods. Let her know that I sent you. Gracias por estar con nosotros. Buenos días, buenas tardes, donde quiera que usted esté. Jenny Rosales nuevamente con parte de Voces en Acción con la mancuerna de Lone Star Community Radio en Tu Voz. El show se llama Tu Voz y es dedicado para la comunidad entera. Todo lo que es Montgomery County, fuera de los Estados Unidos. Le estaba diciendo al productor de nosotros que una persona que está en Japón está escuchando este show. Ella es de Nicaragua y le mando muchos saludos. Pero volviendo al tema, hoy estamos súper en honor. ¿Por qué? Porque tengo una persona que viene a hablarnos sobre del progreso de Texas, lo que está pasando en Texas en estos momentos. Vamos a enfocarnos en las legislaciones y todo lo que está pasando en Texas, porque tengo el honor de tener a uno de los representantes de mayor trabajo que ha tenido en nuestra casa del Senado de Texas, y ha trabajado arduamente para su comunidad en el sector 15, el distrito 15 que representa. Pero antes de eso, quiero darle las gracias a Lone Star Community Radio como mi patrocinador y al mismo tiempo First Financial Bank. First Financial Bank ha estado con nosotros desde los 1900 y estaba trabajando arduamente para podernos ayudar y educarnos financieramente, desde comprar una casa hasta comprar un carro, préstamos para limpiar sus deudas, todo lo que usted necesita, chequeras, ahorros, CDs, lo que usted necesita, contáctelos. El teléfono de ellos es 936-439-1800, 936-439-1800, perdón. Ellos siempre hablan con nosotros en nuestro idioma y nos ayudan. Pregunte por la señora Susana Woods. Ella es la encargada del Departamento de Financiamiento de First Financial Bank, y ella se encarga de los préstamos aunque usted no tenga papeles para pedir una casa, un seguro social, está trabajando en su emigración, automáticamente ella trata de calificarlos con un ITIN number. Hable con ella, 936-439-1800, y acuérdense que First Financial Bank está al alcance de sus sueños. Hoy tengo conmigo al señor Steve Toth. Es el representante del Distrito 15 del área del norte de Texas, y trabaja en el Senado, en la parte de la Casa del Senado, donde se encargan de tirar las leyes. Y él no es la primera vez que ha venido aquí, es la tercera vez que él viene aquí, en la cual él está constantemente trabajando con nosotros, informándonos. Steve viene esta vez a hablar sobre todo lo que está aconteciendo en el progreso de Texas y también hablar sobre su plataforma y sus cosas que él va a hacer en el futuro. Él está tratando de que nosotros como comunidad nos unamos y trabajemos en conjunto y progresar en otros distritos. Él está dejando su distrito 15 para meterse en otro distrito y trabajar directamente con nosotros. Today I am honored and I have with me a lovely, lovely gentleman. He's not the first time I have him 3 times in my show. This is my 3rd time with him. And he represents all of us, not only the Hispanic community or the Anglo, he represents the whole community of Montgomery because he's fighting for us with the laws, representing right now District 15 at the House of Representatives in the state of Texas House. He's a fighter for from the beginning. He's a Christian pastor. He's working with us, showing us what is the rights that we have and the things that we need to do and the things that we can do in order for us to stop the nonsense that is going on. So thank you, Steve, for being with us.
Good to be with you. I'm honored.
Sir, today the theme of the show is Texas in progress. Why I'm going to put it that way? Because there's been a lot of issues with the legislative now this year and years before.
Yeah.
And when you guys were about to vote, boom, everything is just out. So I am not able to get all the time the information because it's really hard for me to get it. And I do thank you because I want to hear from you.
Sure.
And I can hear from any of the Democrats as well. My show is non-participant. Basically, we do not talk about politics. People that want to come to the show and talk about the issues that we're facing through the process, they're able to come over here. Lone Star Community Radio is a nonprofit. I am Boston Central is a nonprofit, but we are able to listen to what's going on and we are able to communicate that information to the community so they can make their wise decision of who to vote for, what to do, who to reach, the representatives that they need to talk to, things like that. So the floor is yours, sir.
You can be nonpartisan and I'll be partisan.
And I will translate I will translate everything that you say. That's for sure.
I'm a rock solid conservative, but this was a difficult session because it was a session when we had to pick a new speaker.
Okay.
And fortunately, 4 of us, myself, Brian Harrison, Tony Tinderholt, and Nate Chasline, worked very early on to not only get rid of Dade Phelan, who is our current speaker, but we worked to build a coalition of people to pick a new speaker. And when it became known that Phelan was in trouble and it looked like he would not win, we grew to about 10 people. And then when Speaker Phelan had won in a runoff by a slim 44 votes, we were up to about 20 or 30 people. And when he decided that he was not going to run for speaker again, I think we jumped up to about 60 some odd people. And there are only 88 Republicans in the caucus. Now, we have a caucus rule that whoever has the most votes coming out of a meeting in November becomes the speaker.
Okay.
Well, we held that meeting in Austin, and 21 of the Republicans, we have 88, 21 of them just walked out.
Okay.
And they went and joined a coalition of Democrats that were waiting for them in the Capitol.
Wow.
And 3 hours later announced that the speaker's race was over because these 21 Republicans had joined 62 Democrats.
Okay. Esto es un relajo. Básicamente lo que me está explicando lo siguiente es que le digo que el show de hoy es sobre el progreso de Texas y vamos a hablar sobre la Casa de Representantes y qué es lo que está pasando porque hubieron votos y tuvieron que cerrar las sesiones. Gente se paró de la reunión en votación y se fueron. 21 republicanos decidieron que ellos no querían estar en la parte esa y se fueron a votar con demócratas y cerraron la sesión. Ellos cada año se reúnen una vez al año para poder cambiar las legislaciones. También se tiene que cambiar lo que se llama el Speaker of the House o la persona que va a hablar, que representa a todo el caucus, que representa a todos los representantes. Y el que estaba puesto anteriormente no lo querían votar por uno nuevo, no se pudo hacer la votación. y automáticamente eso fue lo que dañó todo el sistema de votación al que usted y yo, porque usted y yo trabajamos para que estas personas a las cuales nos representan en la casa, automáticamente hagan su trabajo. Ellos decidieron no hacer su trabajo. Okay, esa es la verdad. Decidieron no hacer su trabajo. They decided not to do their job.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is here. And I'm telling them in Spanish, we voted for them, we put them in those positions, and they walk away from the voting. And I do agree that, okay, I'm paying you through the whole year so you can do your job. And the time that you need to do your job, you don't do your job. Hey, I'm sorry, you're fired. That's me.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
as a regular person. But of course, I don't know how it works within the House.
So we did redistricting. Why did we do redistricting? We did redistricting because the courts had decided that the way in which districts were drawn in the past was not right, and it wasn't fair, and it wasn't just.
Okay.
And so the court said, you need to redistrict Texas.
Okay.
And it's not just Texas, it's the whole country.
Él dice que ahorita mismo estaban arreglando lo que eso es lo que es reorganizar los distritos cambiarlos por secciones porque parece que no estaban hechos originalmente correctamente. Entonces la Corte Suprema permitió que se hubiera una reorganización de los distritos para que hubiera más consenso al tiempo de elecciones. So basically,
I'll do this slowly for you.
Exactly.
All right, we'll do it real time. In New England, as an example, it's made up of 6 states.
Okay. En Inglaterra es un ejemplo, ¿no? Ellos tienen 6 estados.
15 million people.
15 millones de personas.
21 congressional districts.
21 sesiones representantes congregacionales.
43% of them voted for Trump.
43 de ellos, por ser porcentaje, votaron por el señor Trump.
And no congressional seats for the Republicans.
Y no había ningún tipo de asientos congregacionales para los republicanos que representan esos distritos.
So 43% of 15 million people, 21 congressional districts, all Democrat, no Republican. How is that fair?
Entonces dice que lo que no entiende es que cómo van a tener esa cantidad de distritos, en 21 distritos, y no tienen nada de representación republicana, todos son demócratas. Y todos los constituyentes votaron por el señor Trump y son republicanos. Eso es donde no hay un balance. There's not a balance there.
No, it's not. And none of the Democrats care about that. Right? They're okay with 21-0. But if we redistrict and do it fairly, they're all up in arms.
Ok, dice que entonces lo que está pasando es lo siguiente, es que cuando ellos hacen la reorganización de los distritos, entonces comienzan a pelear básicamente porque no quieren, porque para los demócratas ellos están felices, que no haya ningún problema, 21-0, ¿me explico? Pero eso es lo que pasó, básicamente no quieren esa restricción, no quieren que la estructura de los distritos sea cambiada. Ok. When we are doing redistricting on the state of Texas, I'm looking at the map and I'm looking at a big, huge state. Okay.
Right.
Sir, we're talking about, Panama, my country will fit 3 times in your state.
Yeah.
Okay. And my country is 79,000 square feet. You guys are huge. Okay. And you're trying to reorganize so it will be a balance. So people will have their voices heard. Okay, there's gonna be red districts. There's gonna be blue districts.
Correct.
Because and there's gonna be white districts, basically like non-participant. Okay, I'm trying to understand in my mind how can out of the 88, 21 decided to just walk out and say no, we're gonna go for the Democrats. We don't want any redistricting, and then.
Now that was for the speaker's
race,
right?
That's one of the things. That's one of the things.
And then when it came to the vote, for redistricting, they just left. And
that's what I'm saying. That means they went to California. Yeah, they didn't do
for a month.
Okay. Lo que estoy tratando de entender, si usted mira en el mapa de los Estados Unidos y miran el estado de Texas, el estado de Texas junto con el estado de California son los estados más grandes de los Estados Unidos. Panamá cabe 3 veces o 4 veces en Texas. ¿ok? Del tamaño que es Texas. O sea, yo puedo manejar de aquí a Lubbock, Texas, y son 9 horas de manejo en un solo estado, ¿ok? Ese es el tamaño de lo que es Texas. Ellos están tratando de organizarlo por distrito para que haga un balance, porque no todo el mundo es rojo y no todo el mundo es azul. O sea, hay personas que son independientes también. O sea, tenemos que como país, como Estado, la voz de nosotros como constituyentes tiene que ser escuchada. Y por eso elegimos a los representantes para que nos representen. Ese me dice, Jenny, ¿sabes qué? Eso no solamente no fue en el hecho de elegir al Speaker del House. No era para solamente elegir el Speaker del House. También era cuando fuimos a votar para hacer el distrito, ni siquiera votaron. Agarraron, se fueron por un mes para California. Y dejaron los escaños vacíos. Se fueron y no votaron. Okay, sir. This happened 4 years ago, or 4 or 5 years ago. Remember? And I don't recall. I know you can tell me the date, but I know that you guys had the same issue. That they took a plane and they left. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay. I know that after that, Governor Abbott signed a law that was not going to happen anymore. Am I right?
Yep.
Is this law protecting what you guys did? Is this law is being upheld and those people are paying for what they did? Or
no one ever gets punished. No one ever gets punished. And, I've said this once, I've said it a dozen times. The greatest sickness in America is cynicism. And we say that we're going to punish people for breaking the law and no one ever gets punished. And people get tired of it, and they get tired of politicians that use empty words and promises and threats.
Esto mismo pasó hace como 3 o 4 años atrás, ¿ok? Donde ellos agarraron un avión y se fueron en un avión, creo que fue para Nueva York o no sé por dónde, que se fueron, agarraron todos y se fueron, todos los demócratas. Los demócratas más unos cuantos republicanos se fueron y se perdieron por un mes y no volvieron a trabajar, ¿ok? El gobernador Abbott firmó una ley donde estas personas son penalizadas y son quitadas de su escaño cuando hacen este trabajo. Le pregunto, la ley ya se puso en pie, se hizo o no se hizo, y me acaba de contestar, nadie es penalizado. Muchos políticos prometen y no hacen lo que tienen que hacer, y básicamente no es penalizada la persona. Ellos están tranquilos porque pueden hacer lo que les da la gana. So now, they're not penalized, they're doing whatever they want to. You guys are going to go again in another session because you're being forced for another session. Am I right?
We had to do 2 extra sessions.
Do you guys got the
2 months? We were there in addition, we were there for July and August as well.
Okay. So did anything solve the issue? Were you guys able to do this?
We finally got it done.
Okay.
But here's the problem is that because of this court ruling, we did Congress in special session this year, and then we're going to do the legislature next session. But when we try and do the legislature next session, I won't be there because I'll be in Congress, but when we do the legislature next session, they're going to walk again. Why can you guarantee that they'll walk? Because they never get punished. They never get punished. They didn't get punished in the 87th session, which was 2021.
2021,
yeah,
exactly.
They didn't get punished in 21. They didn't get punished.
He sent a letter. O sea, Abbott and
this isn't on Abbott. This is on the Speaker of the House.
No, but what I'm talking about, not Abbott, but the letter that was sent out, it was that they were going to go and literally prosecute them.
Yeah,
okay?
That's not going to happen. So they threatened to prosecute them, and it's up to the House Speaker to convene the General Investigative Committee. The General Investigative Committee has the subpoena authority, and they can get documents, they can get bank records, they can force people to testify in front of them, and they refuse to convene that committee to do an investigation of it. And so, yeah, it's ridiculous.
So basically nobody's doing the law.
Nothing.
Abiding by the law.
Nothing. Exactly. Like if when your kids are small, if they disobey and they're never punished, then they're going to continue to disobey and they're going to grow up to be brats.
Right? Or criminals.
Or
criminals.
Exactly. Criminals, right, exactly.
Okay. First of all, I want to congratulate you. You were in Tucker's Carlson show, and I loved it. Okay? Tucker Carlson can listen to me whenever he wants to because I'm not gonna get to his shoes like this. But I love him to death. I love you, Tucker. I'm sorry, I do. I do. I have to say that he's one of the persons that keeps me awake, and I join his network. So
You wouldn't believe the number of women, Republican women, that love Tucker. It's
okay,
amazing.
I'm a Republican. I'm a Republican, and I'm a Democrat, so I'm in the middle. But basically, I can say that I'm talking about what it is, the journalistic part of him.
Right.
Okay, this guy he's pro true, pro everything.
Yeah.
That I wanted to, another Charlie Kirk, and
Yep,
God
he
rest his
is.
soul.
He is.
This is more into the journalistic part. Charlie was more into the evangelistic part, but to me, he's very clear on what he stands for.
Yep.
And that's something. One of the best interviews I had seen in my life was the one that he had. Besides being with you and talking to you, he was with Putin, and talking to Putin
Yeah.
was for me an eye opening,
Wow.
completely. The situation of Texas itself. You guys were able to redistrict now.
Right.
So basically now, I'm looking at the Senator Creighton left. He's right now head of the Texas Tech University.
Right.
And then now we have Brett Ligon. He's running for Senate. Okay, which is pretty cool. I like Brett. Brett
He's
is
great.
very amazing gentleman, very cut clean district attorney, and I give him an applause. This guy has done a marvelous job with the crime rates here in Montgomery County.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring him to the show because that day I saw him.
He's
were
great.
talking. He's there. But now there's these people that left, and they're, to me, that left, the 21 that left, they're rhinos, and we have a
Right.
lot of those within our lines. We are seeing that some of them are running for this next election that we're
Yes.
about to,
Right.
and some of them are not running,
Right.
decided not to.
Mhm.
And then of course we see the Democrats on the same way they are. I keep seeing myself, and I keep telling everybody, if you're a rhino, just change to the Democrats.
Yeah,
If
be a
you're
Democrat.
if you're a dino,
Embrace. Yeah.
just change to the Republican Party.
Yeah.
It's easier instead of damaging the parties in within,
Right.
because that's what they're doing, because you have a different thoughts. Sir, what I'm trying to understand in here is this: the House is right now majority is Republican. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so whenever it comes to a vote, literally, if the vote comes in, you guys are able to get more points. Am I right or no?
Well,
How
yeah.
does that
So it's
work?
88 to 60.
88
It's
to
88
exactly.
to 62.
So you will still win whenever it comes to a.
You can, but the problem is that Republicans don't control the leadership.
Okay,
And
that's
so you would think that they would.
they would, but they don't.
And from all appearances, it seems like they would, because there is a Republican speaker.
Okay,
But the coalition that gave him the gavel
okay,
is 21 Republicans and 62 Democrats. So literally 3/4 of his coalition is Democrat, 1/4 is Republican.
so basically, he has to abide for the majority.
Correct. And so I had a bill that bans the transition of little girls into little boys.
Exactly.
It's evil. It's
Completely.
demonic.
Mm-hmm.
It's demonic to take a confused little girl
Mm-hmm.
and tell her, you're really a little boy and we need to cut your breasts off. It's demonic to tell a little boy that's confused because he's seen a lot of pornography on social media and other traumatizing stuff as a little child.
Mm.
It's demonic to tell that little boy that he's a little girl, and that when he's older, in addition to putting him on estrogen, cross-sex hormones, it's right to cut your penis off. That's evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's evil. And the vast majority of these kids grow up and realize that they've been conned and fooled, and a high percentage of them take their lives. That's evil. That is just freaking evil. And so we had legislation this session that stops the social transition of kids,
Mm-hmm.
and the Speaker of the House killed the legislation by sending it to a committee that of a chairman that he picked. He picked this guy. His name is Ken King. Ken King is a Democrat. Ken King needs to embrace the fact that he's a Democrat
Mhm.
and run as a Democrat. But he knows that he can't win as a Democrat in his area because it's terribly conservative. But Ken King killed this piece of legislation, kept it from seeing the light of day, and we had to work extra hard. We finally found a piece of legislation, Senate Bill 12 by Brandon Creighton, who you and I both love.
Mhm.
And Brandon crafted that bill in such a way that would enable my legislation to fit inside it.
Okay.
The problem is that that legislation only applies to public education, and we can't socially transition kids in public education, which I'm thankful that we got that done because that's 3/4 of it. But still, 1/4 of the social transition of children happens through counselors outside of the public education system. And those kids are still fair game for these pedophiles and these groomers.
Ok. Estamos hablando sobre lo que es el contenido de cómo trabaja la legislación. Como habíamos hablado anteriormente, el, el factor de que esas 21 republicanos se fueron con los 60 y pico de demócratas por un mes fuera de la legislación, hizo que la Cámara de la Casa trabajara 2 meses seguidos más para poder conseguir los votos que necesitaban, para poder entonces pasar la ley de reestructuración de los distritos. Ok, se hizo. Ahora, el problema es lo siguiente. En una sesión donde se trabaja sobre lo que es el Congreso y lo que es la parte de la legislación, se pasó todo en el Congreso y no hubo tiempo para la legislación, así que va a tener que hacer otra sesión solamente para la legislación. ¿Y qué nos dice a nosotros como tejanos de que la casa va a estar completa o que ellos no van a agarrar nuevo y se van a ir por otro mes? Es lo que está preguntando él, porque no hay nadie que les ponga una ley. La ley se formó y se firmó desde hace más de 2021 que pasó este mismo problema y no se aplicó. Así que ellos no están siendo juzgados, ellos hacen lo que les da la gana, entran y salen a la hora que les da la gana y no hacen el trabajo. Usted está votando por demócratas que no están trabajando, usted está votando por republicanos que no están trabajando. Y ese es el problema grande. Y como dice él, cuando tenemos a una persona que hace un error, hay que ponerle la ley para que la ley haga que se haga justicia. Pero si no le damos justicia, ese muchacho o ese niño desde que está chiquito se cree y se crece y cuando crece llega a ser o un criminal o un brat, una de las dos. O sea, crearse de mucho o ser un criminal. Eso es lo que está pasando aquí. No ponemos la ley y las leyes no las aplicamos. Ahora, tienes que volver a trabajar con la legislación. Y me dice, por ejemplo, mira Jenny, yo escribí una ley y la ley es para poder completamente cerrar la transferencia de niños menores de edad de su sexo original al otro sexo. ¿Ok? Si es niño, hacer la niña, y si es niña, hacerlo niño. Solo porque el niño tiene un problema o porque el niño tiene un problema psicológico que hay que arreglarlo, la decisión de hacer esas transferencias sexuales es una abominación diabólica, eso es lo que le llamo a él, una abominación diabólica que tiene que quitarse porque eso no es así. Él trabajó la ley completamente, pero el Speaker del House, que es republicano, está ahí sentado y él tiene bajo él 62 demócratas y como unos cuantos, como 20 y pico de republicanos que trabajan con él en esa sesión sobre ese comité que lee esa ley. O sea, él agarra a un demócrata que él le dice que es demócrata, pero el señor es republicano, pero él lo agarra para que él agarre y trabaje la ley y resulta ser que el señor Ken no trabajó la ley y la ley se perdió por completo. Después vino el señor Brandon Creighton junto con el señor Steve Toth y ellos trabajaron la ley nuevamente. Volvieron a trabajar la legislación y lo que hizo Brandon Creighton es creó la legislación de manera que se aprobara e incluyó los pedazos del señor, de lo que había escrito la ley del señor Steve Todd, pero nada más aplica al sector público, no al sector privado. Eso significa que los niños que están en escuelas públicas no pueden hacer ninguna transición de sexo sin ningún problema. Porque tienen que pedir permiso, no se puede, va a ser negado por completo. Pero los muchachos que van a escuelas públicas, a escuelas privadas, o que están por fuera, en homeschooling o cualquier, esos muchachos no tienen la protección. Así que hay un montón de niños que todavía no tienen la protección de que si cualquier pedófilo o cualquier tipo de persona que esté mentalmente enferma quiera cambiarles el sexo, esos niños van a tener ese tipo de asistencia. Sir, this is disgusting, and I apologize. I have to say it. To me, either we are working for the pro of Texas or for the against Texas.
Right.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're trying to understand in our laws, how can we make things better for us? How can the Hispanic, the Asian, the Black Americans, the Americans get together in a one whole unity to make sure that we are being served for pro everything, pro our kids, pro the health care, pro the surplus that we're needing for anything, whether it's development of streets or like the commissioners, things that are needing a lot of budget for their precincts. I personally, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm in precinct 4, so Red Ligon is listening to me. I'm in precinct 4, and I'm hoping right now that through Morgan Luttrell and through whoever comes in that part is able to make sure that our streets are clear, because there's so many things that are going on right now. Drugs to the top of the line, you don't even know, and trash everywhere. Believe me, we're in Texas and there's trash in that area. So things are needing to be done. What is it that we can, your track in as a House District Representative of the sector, which is the 15, which is I think Woodlands.
It's the Woodlands over to the east. To the east, Shenandoah, Imperial Oaks, Oak Ridge, Bender's Landing.
Sir, I'm sorry, you did a great job there. And I am, been there. You've been there how many years? 20.
No.
You live there, living there like 20.
Oh yeah, I've
years.
lived there over 20 years.
Yeah,
yes.
but you're living there what, 8 or 7? How many years?
In the Texas House.
In the as representing.
So I was there for 2 years in 13 through 15. I left for 4 years. Then I came back in 2019. So 6 years.
You've been there 6 years. 7. I was about 6 years. You've been there.
Yeah.
And I've seen the progress in that area. Okay, and I'm trying to compare that area to the east area of Montgomery County that is needing help.
East County needs help.
Exactly. And that's something, that's why we go in and we try to make sure that the laws that were applied in your sector will be able to apply in every single district.
So Matt Gray is doing a wonderful job, I think, fixing East County up. I think East County has been neglected, terribly neglected.
Completely, sir.
And I've seen how hard Matt has worked to try and really change the thing, and not, instead of looking out for developers. And look, developers are important. If developers don't come along and build houses, we don't have houses. It's important. But Matt's been really smart in that he's thinking long term for the sake of future development, that future developers are going to want to come there. And they're not going to want to come to East County if there's no plan for the way East County is laid out and run. Exactly. And Matt has just done a wonderful job, I think, of turning all that around.
Well, remember, East County is more Granger land, more ranch.
Right.
I have a ranch over there,
right.
So
very
it's different.
Rural.
It's very rural. I love where I am. I'm not gonna say no. I love Matt. Matt is amazing. They're doing the stuff right there. But I'm seeing too that there's a lot of impact of people that are coming new to this area, and that is needing a lot of budgeting. I know he's needing more budget. I know that he's tight, and I know this. Okay, the same thing with precinct 3. Mr. Riley. He's an amazing guy. This guy is working so hard for the community. That I love my commissioners. The commissioners are amazing. Okay, and I know that Judge Kehoe is trying to make sure that everything goes smoothly within administration and that. But what I'm trying to see is how can the House assist these areas that are Trinity County, Liberty County? How can the House be focused in more infrastructure for these areas?
So let me address that. The Texas miracle, and what makes Texas different from the other 49 states, is that we've left the growth, the important piece of growth, to the free market. How's that? Well, in 2008, we had a terrible economic downturn.
Exactly.
Right? In 2013, when we were coming out of it, in 2012, 40% of the jobs in the United States were created where? Texas.
Texas, exactly.
80% of those jobs came from small businesses like mine. And it's from those small businesses that it generates revenue for the government to use to do things, right? And if Texas at the state level and the local level did a better job at controlling spending, the tax burden will be lower on you. It would be lower on me.
Exactly.
And then I'll spend more money. And if I spend more money, instead of the government spending my money, I spend my money, you spend your money, because the tax burden is low.
Exactly.
Then infrastructure money through taxation will be more abundant. But unfortunately, what's going on right now, because the state is not doing a very good job at controlling its spending, and because local governments are not doing a very good job at controlling its spending, they're taking more from us, right? And at the end of the day, government then doesn't grow as quickly. It doesn't grow the economy doesn't grow, I should say, as quickly. And when the economy doesn't grow as quickly, government doesn't have the money that it needs to do things. But
yeah, and some local cities are overspending their budget for things that they should not be spending it.
Right.
And then the people around it are the ones that are suffering.
We need to Doge. We're Doging at the federal level, and we need to Doge at the state and the local level, and we're not doing that.
Okay. Estamos hablando sobre la infraestructura que está pasando en las áreas norte de el área de Houston, todo el sector de Montgomery, donde yo resido en el sector 4, toda esa área, que son granjeros los que viven en esa área, un montón de granjeros. Estoy preguntándole sobre cómo nos está afectando a nosotros en el área de Cleveland, en el área norte de Liberty. Entonces, todo nos está afectando porque realmente no tenemos los accesos a lo que tenemos que tener, porque la plata que se está dando, dónde se está dando, qué es lo que se está haciendo. Y me está diciendo, ¿sabes qué, Jenny? La infraestructura desde el 2008, en el 2008 caímos en una recesión horrible. Cuando finalmente salíamos en el 2013, automáticamente veíamos que del 2013 en adelante la plata se le estaba dando a ciertas ciudades y lo que están haciendo o eran sobregastándola o no gastándola como deberían ser. Entonces, hay que tomar en cuenta de que se ha venido trabajando con y hemos tratado que el budget o lo que es la plata, el surplus, lo que haya, se mantenga en el área de Texas, ayudando a los pequeños negocios como el de él y como el mío, pequeños negocios que van y trabajan para la comunidad. Esos pequeños negocios son los que crean realmente la infraestructura de Texas y son los que realmente han podido salvar la crisis económica que hay en Texas. Entonces, lo que tenemos que hacer es mantener esa plata que en vez de que sea gastada por el gobierno, que sea gastada por nosotros mismos. ¿Cómo? Cuando usted va a comprar en pequeños negocios. Cuando usted va a gastar con pequeños negocios. No lo gaste con el gobierno, porque el gobierno ya tiene el surplus para lo que son carreteras y todo lo demás. Los comisionados están necesitando dinero. Y hablo de eso porque hablé sobre el comisionado McGray y estoy hablando sobre el comisionado Riley. Ellos están trabajando completamente. Los comisionados están realmente trabajando como nunca. En el sector 1, en el sector 3, en el sector 2, todos ellos están dando lo más que pueden decir, pero si no tienen el dinero ni el recurso para abrir una infraestructura grande, no van a haber grandes ciudades. Por lo menos, ejemplo, el comisionado del sector del distrito 15 en Woodlands, claro, ellos tenían el dinero, ellos quisieron, agarraron y comenzaron a traer compañías que invirtieran en el área. Ahí está Exxon, ¿ok? Ahora, en el área de Conroe Norte, en el sector 1, agarraron y comenzaron a traer ahora el Sheraton, los hoteles. Abrieron un hotel en el área de Conroe, se abrió un hotel completamente con todas las facilidades para dar más trabajo y dar más ayuda al pueblo. Pero no todos los sectores están haciendo eso. Así que estamos comenzando a ver en estos momentos el crecimiento y necesitamos que usted cuando vote, vaya a votar por X o Y persona, lea la plataforma y vea quién está haciendo el trabajo de infraestructura en su área. Si hay diques que se están trabajando, se están limpiando, si hay carreteras, si hay todo lo que usted necesita para poder usted sobrevivir, si se está haciendo correctamente. I'm letting them know basically it is, or as a constituency, that we have to make sure who we vote for and who we elect in those positions.
Yeah.
Because if the work is not being done, or if there's overspending, or if there's less spending, we need to start making sure or have our officers accountable of what they're spending and what they're not spending. The reports and everything needs to be clear. Otherwise, sir, we're going to go back to 2008.
Right.
Okay,
Yep.
deficits everywhere, and we don't need a deficit. Eventually, the state of Texas is one of the richest states of the United
Correct.
States,
Correct.
and we're able to eventually we're able to get independent if we want to. I can say with it, we laugh, we get independent ourselves. Of course, it's not gonna happen. We love being together, But what I'm saying is that it is this what is affecting us. That's one of them. Then places like with my community, Sarah, and I'm going to talk now about my community. I'm going to take a break and come back so we can talk about my community, immigration part of it, and how's that affecting the house. What's the house thinking about? Because right now, yeah, there's a lot of immigration things going on, but it's not going to be enough, and you know that. So we're going to come back. Vamos a tomar un break, volvemos nuevamente y vamos a hablar sobre lo que es la inmigración y cómo está afectando todo esto ahorita mismo a Texas, ¿ok? Como estado en progreso. Gracias. Hey, this is Jenny from Voces en Acción. First Financial Bank can help those who wish to purchase their own home but do not have a Social Security. Their ITN home loan can be a perfect option for those in that situation. They're able to be reached and they can help you at 936-439-1800. That number is 936-439-1800. The American dream, it is at the reach with First Financial Bank. First Financial Bank, it is an equal housing lender, member of FIDC. Hola, soy yo, Jenny, de Voces en Acción, y vamos a hablar sobre nuestro patrocinador, First Financial Bank. First Financial Bank le puede ayudar a quienes desean comprar su propia casa, pero no tienen un número de seguro social. El préstamo hipotecario de ITN puede ser una opción perfecta para quienes están en esta situación. Estamos aquí para ayudarles y los puede contactar al 936-439-1800. El número es 936-439-1800. El sueño americano está al alcance con First Financial Bank. Prestamista de vivienda adquisitiva, miembro FIDC. Well, going back, and I'm sorry, thank you guys for staying with us. I'm going to talk now about our community, the Hispanic community, and I'm so sorry because I'm pro-community. I'm Hispanic myself. But I have to bring out, it's not only affecting the Hispanic community, okay? I'm talking about Asians, people from India, Africans, everybody that has come in another way or method that is not the legal way. Okay. And I'm going to talk about that because basically we call them illegal. I'm going to say people without papers because that's kind of weird. It feels really bad when they call you illegal, but it's like persons without any type of documentation at this point.
Right.
Okay. They're human beings. I'm seeing my community. Voy a hablar sobre la parte del proceso y cómo la Casa de Texas está trabajando con las organizaciones referente a lo que es la parte emigratoria de Texas. No estoy hablando de los Estados Unidos en sí, pero la parte migratoria y qué leyes se están aplicando y qué tenemos que nosotros hacer. Sir, there's mongering fear that has been injected by the media to everybody in the state. Okay, and I'm going to say the state of Texas. I want to say the United States. Okay, people are afraid of going outside. They're not even going to eat outside like they used to go,
Right.
because of the fear of being picked up by immigration, of being treated and deported. Okay, people are going to their hearings here downtown, and they're getting deported right there. Okay, without knowledge of everything. I know that there's legal ways of doing things. I do accept that there's things that are weird that I'm not understanding. I understood too that last week President Trump fired more than 15 judges of immigration and he's implemented judges that are military judges now are taking those positions, and that's my understanding. I have seen the thousands of videos, Steve, that my community is bringing to me about um, aliens being picked up and the ruthless ways of the ICE agents treating them. Some of them I've seen too the community spitting and throwing rocks and attacking the agents. So it's a madhouser.
Yeah.
And thanks the Lord, in Texas, it's a little bit more quieter. You can see those things probably downtown Houston because that's where you can see it the most. Here in Montgomery County, I have seen protests, but he's been calm because our police officers are being protected, and they have the backbone of our sheriff with Doolittle and the community itself. So we're able to control that here in the north. So, what is the house itself trying to see? Because I know we're able to. Yeah, there's gonna be deportations, sir. There will be deportations, especially people that have a deportation papers already that that they need to leave the country and they have not doing it. But what are we doing with those people?
So roughly 1.5 million people have self-deported.
Okay, million and a half.
And they've been told that if you go onto the website, that you can self-deport and we'll help you.
Okay.
And then you can get in line to come back to the United States legally.
Okay.
But if you don't do that and you are here illegally, then you'll be deported and there won't be a chance for you to come back. And so legally. So I love the fact that the president is doing it the right way, which is to say, leave. We'll give you the opportunity to come back if you do it the right way. But what ICE agents are having to be put through right now in so many blue states is just crazy.
Chicago.
They're being shot at. They're rocks are being thrown at them.
They had to wear masks because the people are spitting at them.
Well, they're having to wear masks for the most part. For the reason is because they're being doxxed, right? And so you've got Antifa people that are exposing who these people are, where they live, where their children go to school.
Oh,
and
my
their children,
Lord.
Their wives are given death threats right now. And that's the reason why they're wearing masks. And here's the thing. This is the same reason Antifa wears masks. They wore masks into all these protests so that they could do all these heinous, evil things.
Terrorism of Antifa in ICE to make the community go out and fight. So basically, the community doesn't want to fight. It's the Antifa people instigating them to bring this up.
So you've got Gavin Newsom that's saying Antifa people should be able to wear masks so that law enforcement can't identify you once you've broken the law. But ICE agents that are carrying out the law, they should not be able to wear masks. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing.
Incredible,
It's
sir.
evil.
It is incredible. Estamos hablando sobre la inmigración. El señor Cito está diciéndole que ya se han automáticamente deportado, no porque los recogieron, sino más de 1 millón de personas voluntariamente se han deportado fuera de los Estados Unidos y están en procesos para volver a venir a los Estados Unidos, porque lo que hacen es que cuando se deportan, se autodeportan, si tienen el tiempo que tienen aquí, van y piden nuevamente la entrada legalmente. Y el proceso va a tomar largo, pero al mismo tiempo están teniendo la opción de poder venir y regresar a los Estados Unidos. Pero si los levantan de sus casas y se los llevan, entonces automáticamente ya la persona no tiene el derecho de volver a entrar a los Estados Unidos por 10 a 15 años. Estamos hablando de un tiempo muy largo y la persona no va a poder arreglar más nunca. Muchos quizás no puedan volver a venir más, ¿ok? Entonces, él dice que él le da gracias a Dios que el señor presidente ha tomado la manera legal de hacer esto, pero también está viendo el ataque que hay a los agentes de ICE en los estados azules. Cuando me refiero a los estados azules, son los estados demócratas como Illinois, como California, como Nueva York, donde básicamente no hay una ley que protege a la policía y no hay una ley que proteja a los agentes de ICE, que son de migración. Quiero que sepan una cosa, los agentes de ICE son agentes del gobierno de los Estados Unidos. Ellos están haciendo su trabajo, como el trabajo que usted hace cuando va a limpiar casa, como el trabajo que usted hace cuando va a reparar un carro, como el trabajo que usted hace cuando trabaja en una tienda y vende o hace algún producto, o como el trabajo que usted hace si es doctor o enfermera, lo que sea. Ellos tienen ese trabajo. Y estas personas tienen que ponerse máscaras porque ¿sabe qué? Si yo le veo la cara a la gente de ICE y la gente de ICE está delante de mí, yo sé dónde la persona vive y yo sé que puedo hacerle daño a la esposa, a los hijos, yo lo sigo y eso es lo que está haciendo. Pero resulta ser que no lo está haciendo ni siquiera el gobierno ni la comunidad, lo está haciendo Antifa. Antifa es el modo terrorista que está siendo pagado por, no puedo decir nombres, porque si pudiera decir nombres lo diera, está siendo pagado, es un grupo subversivo que está siendo pagado para que entre en esas ciudades y para que ponga a la comunidad a pelear con los agentes de ICE, tirándoles bombas, escupiéndoles en la cara, tirándoles piedras y todo lo demás. Si a usted, su jefe le dice, tienes que ir a buscar esto y usted no va a hacer lo que usted hace, lo votan, ¿verdad? Bueno, todos esos oficiales de inmigración también tienen que hacer su trabajo. Y si el trabajo de ellos es recoger a la gente que tienen órdenes de deportación, lo van a hacer, le guste a usted o no le guste. Y lo peor de todo es que estamos corriendo en contra de ellos o saliendo corriendo. ¿Para qué corre? ¿Para qué corre? Lo van a agarrar. ¿Para qué pelea? Lo van a agarrar. ¿Para qué tira piedras? Lo van a penalizar por ataque a un oficial de migración. Así que la penalidad es mucho más grande y no va a poder hacer nada. Para eso hay abogados. Para eso está el sistema que se utiliza legalmente y no incorruptamente. Sir, I'm telling them basically why are they running? Because I see them running for their lives. Why are they fighting ex-agents? Why? If you know that you have an order of deportation, if you know that you're illegal in the system and that they're picking you up, hey, the better you're off is the worse. If you fight them, they're not only going to deport you, they're going to put you charges for,
Resisting
arrest. Not
Yeah.
only that, attacking an officer. O sea, all the stuff is going to go into your file. And then you will not be able to come legal to the United States ever.
Right.
Okay, so that's what I'm telling them. It's not. I'm concerned. I'm really, really concerned about my community. Yes, I am. It's not only my community affected; it's the Hispanic community, the Asian community, the any European community, Canadian, anybody that's been here illegal.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Who bears the greatest brunt of illegal immigration? Would it be me, or would it be somebody that lives in the Hispanic community that doesn't have a real high standard of living? I mean, it's not going to be me. The most violence that occurs against people in the United States by illegal immigrants is against Spanish-speaking people. Vast majority of it. Vast majority of the crimes, vast majority of assaults, vast majority of murders.
Because we're the largest minority community in the United States. That's what people don't understand that. People don't understand that we're the largest minority community in the United States, and we're more than a Black American community
and
right
even
now.
People that are here illegally, that are working, that are not committing crimes, they're the ones that are going to bear the greatest brunt of the crimes by people that are violent, that are here illegally.
And I am going to be honest with you. I know a lot of people that don't have papers, but they're in their merry ways doing their job quietly. They're doing staying, they're waiting because they know that sooner or later, probably, and they're hoping for immigration reform. Trump knows that he deports everybody who's going to pick the tomatoes. He knows that. Mr. Trump is
Trump's a smart businessman.
Businessman. He knows, there's people here since 1985 waiting for papers because of the bureaucratic crap of immigration. They just waiting and waiting and waiting and paying, and nobody's doing anything for them.
There are people that are here on green card that are trying to do this the right way.
Exactly. I'm becoming a U.S. citizen.
They have their green card. They're here legally.
Exactly.
They're trying to do this the right way.
Exactly.
But there's so many people here that are here illegally. It's nearly impossible for the people that are here legally, that are doing the right thing, that have their green card, They're paying their taxes. They're doing everything right, the legal way.
Exactly.
And it's impossible for them because there's so many people that are here illegally that the system is broken.
And I'm telling you, I know I have people that I know because they come to me and they say they have ages paying lawyers. Lawyers keep telling no, it's postponed. The age is living here, but they're paying taxes. They have kids that are U.S. citizens. They're working hard. And guess what? Those are the ones that are being affected for the ones that just crossed 5 years ago. And they're coming over here with a tren a agua and kill people. That's what they're doing. They're killing people. You saw what happened here in Houston. A girl, 2 guys raped her and killed her and threw her in the bayou.
Yeah.
Why?
So sad.
Okay. And there's people like, what's her name? Haley Rakin, or whatever her name is. I forgot her name. Sir, that girl was running. She went to run. Why this stupid guy came in and killed her? You know, it is sad. We're having those things. And then for those people, then we, the Hispanic community, but people, like I said, people forget that the highest minority in numbers is us. Okay? The other day I saw a map that you guys have online and how many Asians, how many Chinese. When it comes to how many Latinos, oh my God, sir, we multiply by the millions.
Right.
Okay? So, of course, it's going to be noticeable more in our community than in other communities, okay? And, yeah, there's people that are being deported from Asia. There's people that are being deported from Cambodia. There's a lot of people that are being deported from India, a lot of them. So, but nobody says that in the news. Nobody puts it out in the news. And those people are deported and they don't fight. They just go back. Why are we making a whole mess about this? Why? Because we're being injected by Antifa. Yeah. Injected by Black Lives Matters. That's what we do. And then
it's a poison.
Who poisons that? I'm sorry, sir. It's not the Republican Party. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Okay? Yep. So at this point, we need to go ahead and face the truth. We're here. If we work hard and we do things legally are going to happen to us, which is going to be everything in quietness.
Yep.
Okay? Le estoy hablando sobre el proceso legal. Hay personas, le acaba de preguntar, personas que tienen aquí muchísimos años, que están haciendo todo legal y están calladitos y no están haciendo bulla y quieren trabajar. Entonces, tenemos los otros que comienzan a ir a las bullas, a hacer toda clase de cosas y hacer criminalidad. Entonces, esos son los que primero van a ver inmigración y los primeros que se los van a llevar. Si usted está en su casa tranquila y usted no le debe nada ni le teme nada, usted puede quedarse tranquila que no le va a pasar nada. Pero si usted está en la calle buscando problemas, va a encontrar problemas. Tenemos que hacer las cosas legales. Hay personas aquí que vinieron de hace muchos años y están esperando una tarjeta verde. Están en línea de migración esperando y se han quedado callados. Y estamos hablando de años de ¿qué? 1985, 84, que están esperando papeles. Y que tienen hijos aquí, tienen nietos aquí. ¿Por qué esas personas están tomándose tanto tiempo? Por la burocracia que hay en el sistema de migración. Y no tiene que ver nada con el presidente de los Estados Unidos. Él está limpiando eso. Casualmente, 15 de los jueces grandes de migración fueron votados porque hay más de 3 millones de aplicaciones que están en stand-by. Y él está poniendo ahorita mismo 15 nuevos jueces militares en esas posiciones. Para que esa persona para que usted pueda, si usted está en espera, poder acelerar su proceso migratorio y que usted consiga sus papeles. Ahora, si usted tiene una orden de deportación, por favor, depórtese. Porque es feo que que lo van a levantar. Depórtese, depórtese, deje todas sus cosas aseguradas, vaya, depórtese y llame de vuelta para poder volver a entrar al país. Porque si lo agarran, entonces usted no va a tener la oportunidad de volver a entrar. Está pasando y es en la actualidad de nosotros, aunque nos duela, pero es la verdad. ¿Ok? Y quiero que sepan que no es que estoy en contra de los hispanos, porque yo soy hispana, yo tengo familiares hispanos, yo soy hispana completamente. No estoy en contra de esto, solo que nos acordamos de una cosa: la minoría más grande que hay en los Estados Unidos somos los hispanos. Automáticamente las noticias que usted va a ver de deportación son de los hispanos. ¿Ok? O sea, ahora vamos a hablar con el señor Toth porque él nos va a dar una información muy apropiada para él. Él está cambiando de posición en estos momentos y quiere que usted le ayude a poder ganar el escaño en con que está. Es un hombre responsable, un hombre que ha transformado el área de Woodlands, ha ayudado a muchas personas, un hombre cristiano, un hombre que da de su familia. O sea, este hombre tiene a su esposa, a sus hijos, trabajando en la iglesia, velando por la vida. Él es pro vida, es pro nación, pro Texas. Si usted le da la oportunidad, eso es lo que va a hacer por usted. I know that, and I'm telling them that you're having a new announcement. You're running again, but you're running this time for what? And can you explain us?
Yeah, I'm running for Congress for Congressional District 2 against Dan Crenshaw.
Ok, él está corriendo para el Distrito 2 ahora. Se está cambiando del 15 al Distrito 2 en contra del señor Dan Crenshaw. Okay, sir, can you tell us about your platform a little bit and what is it that you're trying to accomplish? What is it that's affecting the District 2 at this point?
So the biggest issue that people have, and polling will bear this out, and it doesn't matter who you're really talking about, but the biggest issue that Texans have is the border, and the border. It's the rush of illegal immigration into Texas. 50, it's anywhere between 48 and 55%. I saw the latest figure. Between 45 and 53% of the births in Texas each year are Medicaid births.
Exactly.
And 70+% of them, 80% of them are people coming across the border to have babies
and then go back. Exactly.
And so it's bankrupting Medicaid, which was 3% or 4% like 20, 30 years ago. It's now the second biggest piece of the Texas budget.
Wow.
Medicaid, medication, it goes Medicaid, incarceration, education, and transportation. And it's education and Medicaid are the two big drivers, and they're being stripped now clean because of illegal immigration. And so we've got to close the border.
Exactly.
And 3 years ago, when the Biden administration came up with this terrible Senate deal, it was a bipartisan Senate deal. And anytime you hear the word bipartisan immigration deal, you should run, because there's never been a good bipartisan immigration deal. They've always been very pro-Democrat, open borders law, anybody to come in. And that's how this deal was. And it did add additional border agents, but they weren't there to close the border. They were border agents to literally process people coming into our country. And it was catch and release. It was more of the catch and release that Donald Trump had stopped when he came into office in 2016. And so it was going to be more of that, and would allow 5,000 people into the country a day, which would be 1.825 million new people a year.
Oh, my God.
And when Dan Crenshaw came to the Woodlands and laid out his idea at Black Walnut at a town hall meeting with elected officials, myself and a couple other elected officials said, this is a ridiculous plan. 5,000 in a day, that's 1.825 million people a year. Trump, by this time, was already criticizing the plan. Trump was tearing this plan up. And the Biden administration, the Democrats, and Dan Crenshaw criticized the president, who was out of office at the time, for not supporting this deal. And he said, you guys should be happy with this deal, because significantly more people are coming in than that. We said, we don't need legislation. Trump has told you we don't need legislation. Close the border. Just close the border.
That's something that I was very, very, the issue, people believe that they don't, closing the border was gonna be, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I come from a socialist country. You guys if you kept that border open, Venezuela would have been here in a couple of months.
Correct. Venezuela would be here in a couple months.
And I have to say it, I lived it. I went to the border myself. Nobody told me about it. And I know. Okay, there's so many rape trees that you don't even know. People don't even know what
trees.
Rape things
trees
like that.
Yeah, and
and not only that, there was a lot of confusion in those years, sir. And people saying nothing was happening in the border, that was the wrong way of saying it.
It's just so dishonest. So 4 years ago, I went down to the border with Tony Tinderhold and a bunch of the Freedom Caucus members, Matt Schaefer, and Chip Roy had put a coalition of Republican congressmen to come down to the border. And pretty much all the Republican caucus delegation from Congress was there. Mike Johnson came from Louisiana. He was there.
Ted Cruz was there.
This one, Ted Cruz didn't come on. This is a different one. This is a different one. But sadly, the only congressman that wasn't there, Republican wasn't there, was Dan Crenshaw. He didn't come.
Okay.
And we heard from U.S. Border Patrol. We heard from U.S. Border Patrol unions. We heard from Texas DPS.
Mm-hmm.
We heard from ranchers and farmers and how they've been impacted. We heard
Yes.
from coroners that
Mhm.
have said that just the number of dead bodies
Everywhere. Mm-hmm.
that had been left, it was overwhelming. They were having to get refrigerator trucks from the people that had come across the border, and the coyotes would say, Houston is just over that hill,
Mm-hmm.
and giving them no water, no food whatsoever.
Exactly.
And Houston is just over that hill, and then the coyote leaves. And
It was not only that, sir.
Houston is
the,
still
the amount of bodies that were found
Houston,
in the,
Houston is still a 4-week walk,
Exactly.
3-week walk,
Can you
right?
imagine?
And so these people just die of starvation and exposure to the
Not only
elements.
that, there were found bodies inside of the Rio Grande of babies without organs. There's drugs everywhere. So
Yeah.
the border was a mess.
The border is a mess. It is a mess. And I know you've talked to Congressman Crenshaw. What has
I
he said
haven't
to
talked
you?
to him. I have never talked to him. I was in a meeting where he was in front of almost 300 people.
Oh, okay.
And he stated, when they asked him, reporter asked him, what was the situation at the border? And he stated that there was nothing happening in the border. That was a lie. Everything
He
was
said
wrong.
what?
That nothing was happening in the border. That was a lie. And I was there, and I was I literally stood up and I walked out. I don't.
He said
that-
there's
there was-
just did he say we're not doing anything?
No,
Or he
no,
said-
no. He said there was nothing happening in the border. That was everything a lie.
When was this?
That was well, we're talking about more than 2 years ago.
Well, while Biden was in the office?
Yes, well, yeah, exactly.
He said nothing is
Not,
happening. down
nothing
there.
happening in the border. Everything is okay, and there was everything propaganda that is being controlled. That the President Biden was controlling it. Da, 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 da. I stood up and I left.
So
I did
who's
this too.
all right? That's crazy.
Those are comments that came from his mouth, and I have more than 70 witnesses that I can tell you that were there. And people walked out. Some of the people walked out because at this point I was like, we saw that. But of course, to me, that's his personal opinion, But at this point, I had been in the water and I know what's going on. I remember clearly what are the bracelets and people that are being
Yeah, you
raped.
saw
and
the
all-
bracelets, right? The bracelets.
being enslaved. I have people that have come eventually. I have one gentleman that I know personally that he was, his mom paid for the trip. And basically they sit him down, the cartel sit them down, and they tell them, well, your mom hasn't paid or your father. If you don't pay right now, or if we don't get a pay within the 24 hours, tell them goodbye right now, okay? And I know that because it's happening in the border. And that's something that impacted me a lot. So for me, nobody's going to come and tell me that nothing happened in the border. Yes, it was happening. You can see Rio Grande and everything. But sir, I know that you're fighting for the rights, not only on that area of the community, but as well as the district too. There's a lot of issues in District 2 that need to be resolved. And I'm hoping that it's clean completely, okay, from lies and from everything. And people are able to do the right things that are
Right.
needed to do. I know that you're bringing your expertise and infrastructure and everything from education, everything into it. So I let you talk from the last like a couple of minutes, and so we can
I'm
close the
going to
show.
continue to be an activist. We worked really hard this past, the past 6 years at representing people, not just in House District 15, but we actually had somebody from East County that called us and said, our daughter is a wrestler, which I was a wrestler when I was in high school, and there weren't girls in wrestling, but there are girls that wrestle girls, boys wrestle boys.
Mhm.
And this young lady was going to be wrestling another girl
Mhm.
who's been transitioning for the past 4 years to become a
Lord.
boy. So she's on testosterone,
Mhm.
and she's a Hulk,
Oh, my
strong
gosh.
woman. And Conroe Independent School District superintendent, the old one, refused to do anything to help her. Her state representatives refused to help her. And so she called my office, and we worked with the governor, and we got this kid who's from Plano thrown
Mhm.
out.
Thanks, Lord.
And so we've worked really hard. We've worked really hard at being a voice for people. Doesn't matter who you are, and doesn't matter what your political background is. Doesn't matter if you even live in our district.
Exactly.
We want to help you. And most of the issues, I think, that are out there for us that are so caustic between the parties, like boys and girls sports, boys in our locker rooms, boys and girls showers. most people, Democrats and Republicans, agree on this stuff, that this should not happen. And
Exactly.
there really is a lot of common ground around these hyperbolic issues. The Democrat Party has decided this is a hill that they're going to die on.
Oh my
And
God.
we're going to continue to fight for those issues really hard.
Thank you
Another issue
so
here in
much
Montgomery
for
County in Harris County is the flooding that the San Jacinto River Authority has caused. The San Jacinto River Authority flooded out Kingwood multiple times, and I'm going to continue to fight for that issue, that they get some fair representation in the SGRA board, and that we tie the hands of the San Jacinto River Authority from flooding them out in the future.
Okay. El señor Stott está trabajando con los representantes para arreglar todos los problemas del Distrito 2, el área de inundaciones de Kingwood, todo lo que es los muchachos jugando en deportes de mujeres. Él tuvo una experiencia grande con eso. La han llamado de otros distritos para poder solucionar el problema, ya que en sus propios distritos no encuentran el representante correcto. El señor Todd está abierto para 24/7, o sea, él es uno de los representantes que usted lo llama por teléfono, él le contesta el teléfono. And I'm telling them, basically, you pick up the phone every time people call you. People don't usually do that. Él da su teléfono, él habla con la gente, él visita a las personas, él ayuda a las personas que quieren ayudarse. Con lo que se refiere a migración, él va a tratar de ayudar el área lo más que podamos para poder prevenir que haya más daño de tráfico ilegal, de armas, de drogas, de órganos. Todo eso va a tratar de trabajar con la casa, porque eso es lo que él está aquí para trabajar. Steve Todd es para la comunidad y pro la comunidad. Él es un tejano con sus reglas y con sus roots. Aquí él nació aquí, él se crió aquí, él vive aquí y él trabaja para su comunidad. Apoyémoslo, por favor, váyanse en la campaña de él. Él va a tener su campaña. Pueden buscar www.stevetoth.com. Automáticamente lo buscan allí, sacan la plataforma, léanla, traduzcan la plataforma. Si tienen preguntas, llámenos, porque nosotros podemos ayudarle para que entienda la plataforma. Y si usted está en el Distrito 2, cuando vengan las elecciones, por favor, dése la oportunidad de conocerlo. You're going to have several events, sir, and I know. From here until your voting session, which is in March, am I right?
March 3rd.
Okay. El 3 de marzo es las elecciones para la casa. Y entonces él va a tener varias sesiones de meet and greet o de donde pueden hacer preguntas. Se van a hacer se les va a poner la información en mi página y donde lo pueda buscar. Usted puede ir y anotarse para que escuche lo que el señor Todd tiene que decir y por qué él está peleando por lo que cree, por lo que él cree que es en Dios, por las cosas que son correctas. Si usted vota por él y si usted lo ayuda, automáticamente tendríamos una mejor unión en el estado de Texas y Texas podría progresar. Gracias por estar con nosotros nuevamente. Thank you, sir, for being with us. We love to have you
Good to
more.
see you.
The same, sir. Have you more time but I'm going to attend to your rallies and I'm going to try to get the people involved. You need it. And there's a lot of you guys that are working hard for this community. Gracias. Thank you for being pro Texas and for Texas itself growing because of your input and everything. Gracias porque él ha estado trabajando. Gracias a todos los que se levantan todos los días a trabajar pro Texas, porque Texas es un estado independiente, unido, un estado que es protegido. Gracias por estar con nosotros. Gracias a Lone Star Community Radio y gracias a First Financial Bank por ser nuestro sponsor. Nos vemos en nuestro próximo show y gracias por estar con nosotros. De parte de Jenny Rosales, hasta la próxima. Bye bye.